This is our PPX portal. This portal stands for Platinum Pay Express. The PPX portal is the portal that allows all of our clients to access their employee information, to make changes, their payroll reports, and process payroll electronically. We will send a link out to our clients to create a login for this portal. It will ask you to set up security questions the first time you are logging in. It'll also ask if you want to set up your two-factor authenticator. The two-factor authenticator is just an extra step of security. It does allow you to set it up on a mobile device, so you will need a mobile phone to scan the QR code. Or you can skip it and do it later. At this time, it is not required. It is just recommended. This is our main dashboard for the PPX. The current payroll process with reports. You can see a chart for gross wages by pay date, overtime by pay date, and departments by employee account. So we can see if you hover over how many employees are in Group A and how many employees are in an officer department. We also have these 7 main boxes below. These boxes can be clicked right from here, or they're the same as the top of our menu. The PPX allows clients to add employees directly into our system. So once the employee is added to PPX, they also show on PaySmart's side as an employee. It does ask for first name, last name, date of birth, and address. Then it'll walk through the start date, hire date, and the taxes. So their W-4 status. We do need an email address for employees so that we can set them up with an online portal if the company has one. We also have Run Payroll. This is where clients can process their payroll electronically. This sends it directly to our office, and you receive totals prior to submitting to PaySmart. We have our reports area, a payroll calculator. The calculator allows you to figure out what an employee's net would be based off a gross number. You can gross it up. So if you wanted to pay an employee $200 net, you could put that in as the net, and it would figure out what the taxes and the gross amount should be. For our current clients who received PPP funds, we have a COVID-19 dashboard that would pull reports. We also have a reminders area in the PPX. This is a great place to put reminders for the next payroll. If there needs to be something added to an employee's check, that reminder will pop up here. Once it's added, you can mark the box complete, and it'll take it off the reminders list. In the employee section of our PPX portal, the employees can be shown in a list, or over here on the right-hand side, we can drop that down to a card view, and you can see your employees listed in card view and with the pictures if you have pictures in there. You can also show terminated employees. So on the left-hand side, this terminated employees box, when that's marked, all the terminated employees will show in red. To open an employee, you would double click on the employee that you want to view, and this opens up to their employee card. So in here, each individual box has a pencil. This would be how to edit any details in that box. So once the pencil is checked, we can now make changes to this box. So if the employee's email address changed, if we need to add a cell phone, or if their address changed, that information can be updated. And once changed, the checkbox back in the same right-hand corner will save that information. We also have pay information. So pay rates can be updated in here. If the employee is salary, the salary needs to be entered as a per payroll salary. That can be updated in here as well. We have an accrual plan. So if an employee is to earn vacation based off an accrual plan, that can be entered in here. as well. We can keep track of their department. So if an employee is changing departments, we can select the pencil and change their home department. We also can set their status. PaySmart does not need to know if they're full-time or part-time, but if you wanted to keep track of it, this is a great place to do that, so you can see who's a full-time employee and who's part-time. And if they are set up with an accrual plan, you can see their PTO, what they've earned, used, and available in here. Any changes to these numbers must be done by PaySmart. This is a great overview of what they have left. Also in the employee area, we have payroll info. We have scheduled earnings, scheduled deductions. Scheduled earnings is something that happens every payroll. If the employee is to receive an automatic earning for, let's say, a car allowance, that can be added in here, and we can do a first pay of the month every payroll. It's something that's supposed to happen in the back end automatically added to their gross wages. A scheduled deduction is a deduction that's supposed to come off on every payroll check. So we could set up child support, medical deductions. If there's a retirement plan on the account, those can be set up on each individual employee for what they are to have deducted from their checks. And a scheduled memo is an item that does not affect the paycheck. It is simply just for tracking purposes. We use this for the employer retirement match. So if a company is matching 3%, we would set up the memo so that it automatically matches 3% of the employee's gross wages. We also have the ability to do direct deposit for the employees. If your company is set up with direct deposit, employees' information can be added directly through the PPX. We do a pre-note process the first time. So when an account is added or changed, we do a pre-note where the employee will receive a live check, and then the following payroll day will be direct deposited. You can add an account through here. We can also pause a direct deposit. So if an employee's bank account needs to be paused for any reason, we can pause the account. We can edit with the pencil box, or we can delete the account. So if the employee's banking information is no longer valid, we can delete it out of the system. They will start receiving a live check until a new account is added. Under tax info, we have our federal withholding. And we also have our local tax withholding. PaySmart looks up all local taxes for our clients. We take care of looking up the PSD codes and entering the local rate for all new employees and any employees who has changed their address. The W-4 information can be set in here. So if the employee is going to be doing married and they want an extra $20 of withholding, that can be added in here and saved, and it'll take effect with payroll. The additional fields area in the employee setup walks through the hub setup. So if the employee is set up with direct deposit, we have an email address and a date of birth, and the company is set up for electronic pay stub delivery. This hub basic box can be checked, and the employee will then receive an email to set up their hub portal. Hub full is for any clients who are using our hub time clock products. If the employee should be set up with a time clock, hub full should be marked. So that way it sends in their email for their portal, and they also have access to the time clock once received. So going back to our dashboard, we are going to click reports. And this can also be accessed at the top of our main screen. It automatically opens with scheduled with payroll. These reports are items that PaySmart provides with every payroll run. These reports stay in here as long as you're a client with PaySmart, and the most recent check date populates first. On the left-hand side, we also have period end. Period end is going to be our quarterly reports, as well as W-2s. So all the 941s, the PA unemployment, local tax return, local quarterly returns can be found in here for each quarter. And then delivered to employees would provide direct deposit voucher copies. So you receive a copy and then the employee also receives a copy on their hub portal. There will also be copies of W-2s in here as well. Back to the main dashboard. From our dashboard, we can run payroll. So once we click run payroll, this will open up and it'll show us a payroll chart, total gross by check date. And then we also have these options at the top. We always want to select number 1, start payroll. And this will open up to our pay period. The pay date and the pay period automatically populate based off what is in PaySmart's system. If these do not match, please contact us and we will get those updated. As long as this information looks accurate, we can click Start Payroll. Once Start Payroll is clicked, this will take us to our Power Grid. Our Power Grid will show all of the employees that are currently in the system to be paid, what division and department they're currently in, and their pay rate. The pay items will be across the top. If there are any pay items that are missing or that need added, please contact PaySmart and we will have those added for you. If during this payroll cycle an employee is not to be paid, we want to uncheck them on the Power Grid. This will remove the employee from this payroll, but will automatically re-add them for the next payroll. If an employee needs their pay rate changed, and say if it's a one-time change, that information can be overwritten right here on the Power Grid. But if it is going to be a permanent change, that will need to be updated in the employee section prior to starting the payroll. If the pay rate is changed in the Power Grid and not on the employee, it will not save. So the employee will need updated as well after payroll is processed. The hours can be entered under the pay item that is corresponding. And if the employee needs to have more than one pay rate, there is the person icon here. We can duplicate the row. Once the row is duplicated, we can see here that Harvey now has 2 lines with 2 different pay rates. So if you have an employee that needs to be paid at 2 different rates, we will need to duplicate the row, and then the additional hours can be added to that employee. Once all changes are made, there is Save Changes at the top. Once Save Changes is checked, at this point you can jump out of payroll. All of the information is saved, and then you can come back to it later to finish it up. If everything is complete, we can click Process, and the system's going to confirm that you have 2 out of 5 employees. And this step is going to process all of the checks and calculate the taxes and calculate the net check amount. Once that is finished, we have Review Payroll Totals, and this will take us to our totals page. On the left-hand side, we can see that we're paying 2 employees with a total of 93 hours with regular dollars of 1,520. The system also provides payroll dollars, so we can see gross payroll, deductions, the employee portion of taxes, and the net check amounts. The nice thing about the PPX is it does provide a bank requirement amount, so it does provide the amount that's needed for payroll prior to submitting. We also have a payroll register. The payroll register gives us an overview of the payroll. This is a great double check to make sure that what was entered is indeed what is happening on the payroll. The payroll register shows us that Harvey here is getting his 40 hours at 18 and his 40 hours at $20 an hour. It provides his year-to-date gross, current taxes, year-to-date taxes, and his net check amount. There's also a payroll register totals. The payroll register totals report provides us with the total hours for this current payroll, month to date, quarter to date, and year to date. These reports are also available in your report section. Once we process the payroll in-house, they are provided with every payroll processed. So from here, the payroll is not yet submitted. So if there would be a mistake on the payroll register, you can go back to edit payroll, or you can save and exit and come back to it later if you need to